what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
We'll try not to too much talk over each other, but again, we are girls and we are
agree to disagree.
Okay,
Moving on.
well, the makeup bottle. It's like a cracked out T-bird from Greece.
Yeah,
She's got that black hair.
Okay, welcome back to Chick Chat, everyone. It's time for your favorite guilty pleasure. We are once again, I would like to note, staying on schedule.
Look at us.
Look, another month under our belts here. How exciting.
So exciting.
Jeanette.
Good morning.
Hello. I haven't seen you in a while.
I know. Since the last time, I think.
I know. We work in the same building.
Right.
And I never see you, but just makes our conversations here on the microphone a lot better. I'm pretty excited. We got some stuff to talk about.
We got stuff.
Oh, we got stuff, and I'm gonna do my housekeeping stuff first, so that then you can get some things off your chest because I can feel it. I know it.
You see it blowing. I'm like puffed up right now.
You're like hemmed up. You're antsy. Yeah.
Ugh.
Okay. Well, welcome to Chick Chat here on The Mesh. We are your favorite guilty pleasure among the network, at least. We would love for you to go check out everything else that's on The Mesh. We have all kinds of shows, something for everybody. We have a film review show. We have a fantasy football show. We have education shows and business entrepreneurship shows. All kinds of things. So really encourage you to go check that out. Again, it's themesh.tv on the internet. And you can find us on social media all over the place. So enough of that. I'm Mary Margaret. You're Jeanette.
I am still.
We are about to get into the details here.
Oh, yeah.
So for those of you who have not followed along with us, we watch Big Brother.
Yes.
There, we said it. It is our summer guilty pleasure.
It is. We wait for it every summer.
Yes.
And every summer I'm disappointed.
Every summer I yell at my TV.
Right.
Every summer my husband rolls his eyes that I'm watching it.
Yes.
So the finale was last night.
Yep.
Okay. We're all we have not discussed this. We put this out there I kind of know how Jeanette feels. She kind of knows how I feel. But we have not discussed this finale yet. So you're hearing this raw. So we're still some a little salty, some a little okay. We'll see. All right. So just as a quick recap, this was the finale. They'd been in the house, 90 some days?
Yeah.
I think it's
10
92
weeks.
or something like that
like
days,
that,
which is a long time.
Yeah.
They had narrowed it down to 3, which were Josh, Paul, and Christmas. They were competing live, essentially, for the finale part of who was going to be the final 2.
Right.
And they built this up. Josh won the final head of household competition and was able to select who he was going to evict. And he chose to evict Christmas. Christmas comes out, becomes the 9th member and final member of the jury. And then Paul and Josh then had to kind of give their speeches and say their reasoning and sitting there, just waiting for the final votes, which the jury then determined in the end by one vote that Josh was the winner.
Such the wrong decision.
Okay. I am ready to hear your reasons as why.
Like him or not, Paul played the best game of the summer. He went in there as the only vet, not like last year when the vets had, 4, 6
I think it was
of them?
maybe 4 of them or something.
Yeah, there was multiple.
Yes.
And a vet ended up winning because they had help along the way.
Yes.
He was in there by himself. He technically should have been out week 1, but we know he got that save.
Immunity, a deal.
So at worst, he should have been out week 4, 5, or 6. He should have been out before jury.
Absolutely.
So
that was kind of their first mistake.
Right. That was their first mistake. Yeah. So I think they were all a little bit starstruck. This season, between this season and last season, it has annoyed me to no end that the jury gets out there and they vote not based on gameplay and strategy, but based on, I'm mad that you lied to me. Hello, you're playing a game. It's not called, hey, pick the best personality in the house and let's give them $500,000. Josh was handed $500,000 by the jury because he held on to Paul's coattails, stayed loyal to Paul, he made Paul gave him some dirty work to do. He did it. I'm not saying Josh didn't play a good game. Did he play a better game than Paul? No. Paul was the puppet master. How do you not give someone credit for where you are because he fooled you? He played the game. And even Jessica, as much as she dislikes Paul, said, my vote would have been for Paul because he played all of us. Mm-hmm. He played the best game. He played the game the way it's supposed to be played. But everybody got out there. And then what drove me nuts is the couple stuck together with their votes. You don't have your own mind. Mark and Elena voted together. Alex and Jason voted together. I mean, even Kevin, who he lied to last, was like, hey, that's the game. I vote for Paul. Cody completely voted on emotions.
I will beg to differ on that one.
Really?
Here's what. Did you, and we can get into this part in a little bit. Did you by any chance watch the live feed, not live feed on CBS, but like the, I think it was Facebook live feed with Will Kirby right afterwards, which if I could vote for Will Kirby every game, I would.
I mean, and he was trying to say, you guys are some bitter jurors.
Oh, yeah,
During that little round table thing.
Every year there's bitter jurors.
Because I think he's trying to tell them, don't go based off you're bitter.
Right.
It was gameplay. How can you say that Paul didn't play a good game?
But here's the thing. The entire summer, what are you trying to do? You're trying to get the person out that you don't want to win, correct?
Right.
Okay. So some would say that their whole goal for the summer is to be the last man standing.
Yes.
But then some people are saying, well, if I'm not going to be the last man standing, my goal is to make sure that I want the right person to win by me getting out the people that shouldn't win. Okay. Cody, all he wanted his entire time in the house was to get Paul out. He was unable to do it because everybody else was following Paul. Okay, which I'm not faulting at all for that. But that's what he wanted to do. This was how he got Paul out.
It was the wrong... But the game's over at this point.
Not for Paul and Josh.
Well...
They're in there playing, trying to get jury votes. Paul had poor jury management. They said it multiple times last night. Josh's best move in the game, and Paul knew it because Paul called him out on it last night and got catty about it. He said that this was cowardly. But
I agree with him.
I absolutely hands down disagree. I think Josh was brilliant for saying it in his diary or his what do they call it? Goodbye messages. That who he was working with. Because if you're going to be getting jury votes, you got to be planting some seeds. And he was telling the truth. Paul chose to lie in his outgoing messages his goodbye messages to people, knowing that they're going to go right in there and start talking about it. So I fully believe that Paul drank his own Kool-Aid. Paul started actually believing what he was saying to people, which was fooling everyone, Now, I absolutely hands down believe that Paul played the game the right way. He played the game
better than anybody.
Better than Josh. He played the game better than obviously those people in the jury. I will definitely give that to him 9 days a week. Okay.
Well,
but I do not like Paul.
I know.
I think that Paul...
And Paul's not... I mean, he's one of those hit or miss people. I think he would probably be fun outside of the house.
I think Paul is cocky. I think Paul is I think Paul... And I told you this outside of the show that I did my free trial on CBS.com live feeds. I watched the live feeds, which for those of you that, again, don't understand, Big Brother, they have... like hundreds of cameras. It's some sort of crazy number of cameras, right? Like watching these people in a house 24/7. Like when they're sleeping, the cameras are on them. When they're in the shower, the cameras are on the outside of the shower, of course. But you can see this. Now, if you pay CBS a certain amount of money per month, you can watch these live feeds at any time on any of your devices. So they offer a free week trial. I did the free week and then canceled so that I could just see what it was all about. It's kind of fun to do, to just kind of get a little glimpse of it. I happened to fall on the time when Cody and Jess were just about out the door, and they were essentially, the house ganged up on them and started kind of I don't even know what to call it, it was a session, if you will, out in the backyard that I watched, unbeknownst what was about to happen. I see Paul upstairs, basically in the HOH room, holding court, saying, you know what, guys, here's what we should do. Raven should say this, and then Kevin should say this, and then you should do this, and then she should do this. You guys, we should totally do that. And Christmas sat there the whole time, puppy dog-eyed at him, just going, yeah, that's brilliant. Oh, my God, this is amazing. This would be so great. Paul, you're fantastic. I love you. And even had Mark, Elena, and Matt, even, who's not fans of, Mark and Elena at that point. They were all kind of at each other's throats. All of them going to Christmas and saying, don't you think this is a little wrong? Why are we having to belittle someone in the house to break them down? Why would you do that to their, insulting their personal life, their outside life, things like that? They're here. Yeah. We're playing a game. We're not here to hurt people emotionally, And Paul stood out there and laughed and ganged up on them and basically led the charge to go and submit. And I saw this really ugly side of Paul, and I thought it was really, really poor taste. And if you noticed, it was brought up twice last night in the finale about bullying. And Paul has said multiple times, I don't think I'm a bully. I don't think I'm a bully. But then he would call Cody a bully, or he would call this, And
Cody had bullying moments.
Absolutely. No, not saying that I don't think anybody else was.
Had bullying moments. I mean,
Absolutely.
The pots and pans are a little extreme.
Yeah, and they've done that every season.
Right, but since Evil Dick. I mean, it's or was he the one who did it, or?
He's the one that did it, yeah. But apparently the way it started was on season 2, which was Will Kirby's season.
Yeah.
They, in the middle of the night, it was either the Amazing Racers or the Survivors. Whichever one's, a group of them that were getting came in and did a raid in the middle of the night, and one of the girls brought pots and pans and she was banging them. But then they left. I mean, there wasn't to get on people's it
wasn't every night.
Exactly, like Josh was doing. So that's why, I didn't agree with Josh on this point of how he kind of acted with that. So I think there's a level. It would be different if this happened every season and we all kind of knew that sadly bullying was part of the show or something, but it's not.
No.
Look at all the winners that have gone this far in the past and have not had to do that stuff. They've not had to belittle people and act like that and then kind of point the fingers the other way and so I didn't do it. You did. You were the ringleader. You were the puppet master of bullying.
And I think, and not anything against them, but in a way, Cody and Jessica brought that out in people this year, I think. Not just Paul, but a lot of them. Because they kind of did have this we're better than everybody else type of attitude. And our relationship is real, yours isn't. Yours is for TV. We're this, we're that, we're the nice people, we're this. They did kind of put themselves in a box and say,
Agreed.
Yeah, we're better than you.
But that's like saying, that someone deserves to be bullied.
No, I'm not saying they deserve to be bullied,
right.
But I can not where I see where it came from. That shouldn't have happened because they were going to leave. One of them was leaving.
Exactly. They were out the door. That's, I guess, what a little bit of why I was doing this. I was like, you guys have already, you're the ones voting them out.
Except Jessica had revealed to everybody she had the temptation to keep them. That was the week they both stayed.
Right.
So that was her mistake in telling people that. But
absolutely.
And not understanding how her own thing worked.
How it worked. Right.
Right. But I think this is where I have a bone to pick with CBS because this show is becoming so predictable.
Every time.
Something happens. The same thing happens every year. It's just the outcome.
Yep.
I mean,
it's even the games. Obviously,
there's going to be alliances formed day one. I don't know you, but let's work together this whole game.
There's going to be showmances.
Yeah.
And they're going to cause trouble. That's going to be a big riff, if you will. The games are going to get consistent enough to where the people in the house can predict what game is coming next. make up
Yeah.
some new.
Oh, we're going to have
brands.
OTEV. We're going to have,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean.
This is going to be the one where we slip and slide down the side on Crisco.
It was
know it.
fun to watch in the first years. And I'm still convinced that the veto was different before. The veto now, if you win and you take somebody off, you're both safe. I still say there was at least one season where if you used the veto on somebody else, then you became vulnerable. You could still be put up.
Right.
Because I want to say it happened to Marcellus, where he saved his friend, and then he got put on the block, and he got voted out.
Yeah, I don't know.
His name, it was Amy, I think, was his friend. We'll have to go back and watch the season where Marcellus was on there and his friend Amy.
Okay.
And he used the veto to save Amy because he was conflicted about it because he knew if I use this, they can vote me out.
Right.
But I'm going to use it and hope that they don't.
Right.
And then he got put on the block. The first season, if you had a household, that was fine. You could still play the next week.
Yeah.
But I think they changed that because Kobe or whatever, who it was, won like every head of household. I
see.
But
yeah.
still, I'm still in the whole realm of this is called Big Brother. You have people watching this 3 and 4 times a week. Mm-hmm. You should let us be involved more than saying, "Oh, what should they eat for Have Not Week?"
Right.
Give
We
them
don't care.
something.
Yeah.
Our vote is for this person to be evicted.
Yeah.
Give America
Which is
a vote.
why I did like the temptation, aspect of this a little bit more in the sense that at least there was something I kind of felt that was throwing everybody off because it was new.
The temptation thing, I feel like was staged and it was set up
hands
because
down. Hands
Paul won
down.
week 1 to win. We don't want to bring the vet in and then have him out the first week. So we're going to save him for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the whole thing with Christmas getting hurt. Now we're going to give her this temptation.
Yes.
And then Jessica, as soon as Cody leaves, let's do the whole, we know the battle back is coming back and Cody's probably going to win it.
Yeah.
Because we're going to make sure he wins it by making it very physical. And we're going to let her have this thing where she can save both of them.
Yeah.
Because they know how the votes are coming in. Mm-hmm. Either they know that America's going to vote for Jessica to get it, or they're just going to give it to Jessica, regardless of how the votes go.
Yeah.
I'm tired of the battle back. If you're voted out, stay out.
Just be out.
Just be out.
Done with
Don't
it.
battle back from eviction. Don't battle back from jury house.
Yeah.
Because that throws people's games off. And then they're sitting there trying to strategize. When's double eviction? When's the battle back?
Mm-hmm.
And then they start placing their game on, like you said, what's happened in the past.
Yeah.
And CBS always follows through and it's like, oh, Cody, you're really not going anywhere because we're going to have a battle back. Like,
you know what?
I'm over it.
I get so tired of whenever the house guests. And see, Paul did this a lot. I follow along on Twitter a lot about, like, there's live feeders out there that watch this 24/7. I mean, I don't know what else they do, but they post up, like, highlights from the day, I guess.
Yeah.
And there's always a lot of Paul saying things like, oh, no, this season, this is what happened. Like, last season, this is what happened. And no, guys, trust me, like, I've been here before. This is what happened. So Paul set himself up, I mean, obviously, as a move, but as an outsider, it's like, God, that's so annoying. He was constantly saying, no, guys, trust me because I've been here before, right? So they're all kind of playing into that. But he was consistent about it. Well, he was also saying this season sucks compared to my season.
It did.
Absolutely. Again, but if I'm in the house with him, that's the last thing I want to hear. I want to be like, screw you, Paul. This is my season. Like, let's enjoy this. Instead, you're sitting here telling me, like, you guys kind of suck. And so
because they
my game
coupled
was awesome.
up so quick, it was so clear from the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, I'm so over. Like, the best thing that ever happened was like that coup d'etat, and then they never did it again.
Yeah.
And then Will Kirby winning and never won a competition.
Right.
Like, that's when Big Brother was
Derek
good.
never got on the block.
Derek never got on the block. I mean,
But Derek
never told anybody he was a cop.
Exactly.
Like those type of things are what I'm looking for. Now I feel like you've got a bunch of models in there.
Yes.
And then you throw in one older stay-at-home dad.
Yes.
And then you throw somebody from a previous
like
season.
a nerdy, weird guy.
The weird guy who you know is going to be out in the first 2 weeks. I mean, let's just do away with everything.
I want to see a couple different seasons. Okay, so one is I want to see a season of all the first timers kicked off.
Ooh,
right,
that'd be good.
So everybody that was kicked off the first week comes back and competes.
Because we don't know who they are anyway.
Exactly, whole new cast.
Yay!
Yeah,
where were you? I think I remember you, but welcome back.
Cool, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that would be pretty cool because I guarantee you, like you said, there's a lot of these super fans and the people that kind of come in real hardcore, and that's who gets voted out that first night because they come across that strong. I bet if you put all those people in one room together, it's like battle of the minds at that point. You know, I mean, I think that could be really interesting. I also want to see an episode or a season where everybody's over 30.
Oh, yeah. How about an all-male cast or an all-female cast?
Yeah.
Just do
I'd be
something.
fine with that. Yeah.
Because that's going to get good.
Yeah. I think if you did something with like this, I mean, there were people in the house that are 22 years old this time.
Yeah.
I'm like, Richard, what are you talking about?
I mean,
it was just, it's hard to watch them. And I'm thinking if there's those people that are like over 30, I mean, it's not like 30's old, you're still going to have like young, competitive, fresh people that are able to compete in these things and physical stuff too. But I do think there's just going to be a different level of maturity. Paul's like 24 years old.
Right. It's like you're putting people in a frat house.
Absolutely.
For the summer. That's why things like Survivor and Amazing Race are so fun to watch because it's such a diverse cast. Older, younger. I mean, different races of everything. Different backgrounds, an IT guy, a football player. It's just like a nerd. People from all walks of life. And that's people vote based on gameplay. Like, well, I almost want them to combat the whole alliance thing by saying, going in, this is who you're, like they did it one year with teams, but this is who your team is. If this team wins, but I only want there to be like 2 teams. They don't need to be like they did with Paul's season where you're a team of 4.
Right.
But if your team wins head of household, then anybody from your alliance can be voted out. We don't need to know who's on the block.
Right.
They can vote for anybody in that group.
Yeah.
And that would be more interesting because people won't be like, well, let's backdoor and do all this. Like, I'm so tired of the backdoor and the pawns.
Dumb. Well, you know what? It's not even really a backdoor anymore because they all sit there and tell each other.
Right.
It's so annoying. They all sit there when Julie comes out there and Julie's like, what'd you think? And they're like, well, they told me about 2 hours ago that I was going to be gone because they didn't want me to be upset on thing or whatever. I'm like, no.
Don't tell.
Like, why would you tell? Like, that's just ruining everybody's games whenever that happens. Like, that's not how a game per se is played. I just think that that's kind of weird.
I would like the eviction ceremony to be more like the nomination ceremony where everybody gets to put a key in to somebody.
They used to do that. Remember, it used to pass around the key. I always liked that where they pulled out a key and they were like, "Oh, you're safe."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, what do you think of Cody being voted America's favorite player?
He's so boring. I mean, he's cute. They felt bad for him. But he is like, I don't know what him and Jessica talk about because he's so like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's camera shy. I mean, he seems like an okay guy, but I'm so over America's favorite player too.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's just
and why are they getting half the amount of second place?
Yeah.
Like, give him $5,000 or something. Like, yeah, you people liked you.
People liked you, right? Yeah. No, it's. And it's funny, I was always reading things like Paul always predicted things happening, and he would say 100% about stuff. So he would say, and it was like his catchphrase, I guess, 100%, 100%. So he'd be like, guys, it's totally going to be a double eviction this week, 100%, 100%. Wouldn't happen. Yeah. And then it'd be the next week. Well, I mean, no, 100%. It's going to be a double eviction this week, And he was 100%. Kevin's going to get America's favorite player, 100%. And then Kevin left. And he's like, 100% it's Christmas. Christmas is going to get America's favorite player, 100%.
I would have voted for Kevin. I liked him.
Again, I mean, he was fine.
He was the only
but again,
older person in the house. He didn't really have anybody he didn't have anything in common with anybody.
Sure. But I don't know. I feel like he was he was the ultimate definition of a floater.
Well, yeah, but so was last year's winner.
True. True. So. But it was in the, second year in a row, though, had to do something right to get there. But, Kevin admitted that he didn't really quite know what was going on.
And that's what I love. No. Like, even just do something like Head of Household gets one nomination, America gets the other. Something to switch it up.
Sure, I could see that.
So that the house is a little on edge.
Well, I was about to say, I love the idea of them being a little more scared.
Yes.
Of, like, what's about to happen.
It's so predictable.
Everything's so predictable now. Yeah. So now we know that in the winter, this fall is going to be Celebrity Big Brother.
Yeah, who's going to be on that? Vanilla Ice.
I mean,
I'm predicting he'll be one of them.
it's going to be like Snooki and
oh gosh, no.
Vanilla Ice and Gary Busey and
Because he's always on.
yeah, and Bret Michaels.
Yeah, all the people who have their own reality shows.
Yeah, it's going to be
point.
everybody from Celebrity Rehab just over here in the house.
Didn't they do like a Celebrity Big Brother almost with on VH1 where they just had a bunch of people moving? Like Vern Troyer was on it.
Wasn't that Celebrity Rehab? I mean,
That's not Celebrity Rehab, but it was like Celebrity. That's where like the Brady guy was on there. And he was like,
what was that
like
called?
America's Next Top Model.
Well, and they got married.
They did.
Yes.
And then they
what
had a
was that
special
show?
about that.
I forget, but yes, there was something like that on VH1.
It's either on VH1 or Bravo.
Yes. But yeah, I think it would be really interesting because some other people and I were talking about like Celebrity Big Brother. I'm totally watching that. Because I think there's probably a few celebrities that have watched Big Brother in the sense that have seen bits and pieces of it, But I think for the most part, it is going to put some people off their rocker being in there and having no clue that like there's no phones, there's no media, there's no TV, there's no books, there's no dates, there's nothing. You're cooking your own food. You are not going out to eat. You're sitting around not doing anything. I mean, it's a totally different lifestyle for even D-list actors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's going to be...
I'll watch.
I'll totally watch.
Who's going to form an alliance?
How funny would it be to have like, like Gary Busey and like a WWE wrestler, like in an alliance.
Gary tells everybody like, "Oh, we're totally voting you out."
Bromance, that type of things. I mean, like, I think it'd be awesome.
He'd be the one wild card. Like, we got to get Gary out because he tells everybody everything. Like, I mean, I just heard him talking upstairs, and I'm pretty sure the votes are like 3-4. You're gone. Was that a secret? Was that not to tell anybody?
Wait,
Gary Busey is like,
I'm dying for them to announce the cast.
Snoop Dogg will be on there with Martha Stewart.
I know. I want to see the cast. I want to know the date that it's coming. Everything and then we know that as soon as the winter Big Brother is over, it means it's almost time for real Big Brother.
Yeah,
which
we'll
is going to be season 20.
And it'll be
season
the same
20.
thing.
I hope they do not disappoint us. I want something good on season 20.
I would love Mike Kirby and
Will.
Mike Boogie.
I mean, Mike Boogie and Will. Oh my
Mike
gosh,
Boogie
they're
and
like
Will
my
Kirby to come
favorite
back.
people ever. Favorite.
Mine too. Love, love, love them. Bring.
It was yes. Ring, ring. Hey, Will, how's it going? Oh, hey, Mike, good to see you. Yeah. Hey, did you know that I just evicted my own showmance? That's amazing.
I mean, just replace them as the host of Big Brother.
So, you know that Will, as I was saying earlier, we'd get to this, Will Kirby, who I have always loved.
Yes. It's my all-time favorite.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a tie with him and Mike Boogie because I do love
Mike Boogie.
Yeah.
I do love me some Mike Boogie.
Yes. So, I think, he took over for Jeff Schroeder.
Really?
Yeah. So, Jeff Schroeder.
He didn't do the after show?
So Jeff Schroeder announced several weeks ago, he did all the preliminary interviews and everything with all the cast members before they went in the house, like that last step before they go in. And he would interview the people whenever they got evicted. Okay. But midway through the season, he got a job as this new news correspondent on this kind of online show called Daily Blast Live.
What?
Yep. I started following them on Instagram. It's basically a online quick news feed thing of people doing reports of 1 minute each type. I mean, they're very quick, but it's kind of get all your updates here on the fly. And he's part of that. So he moved to Denver, and that's where the show is being produced. What? And he's there. And so he basically said, while I'm still a fan and I'll still be involved, watching it and whatnot, I can't for contract reasons, do CBS work now.
Got it.
So they bring in Will Kirby on the fly. Okay. So Will Kirby does all the after show interviews last night. And he did everybody's, and it was hilarious. Okay. So whenever Cameron came over, he was like, "Oh, Glenn Garcia back here for an interview. Hey, Glenn, thanks for coming." And Cameron's like, "My name's Cameron." He's like, "Oh, my bad. Totally didn't remember you from the season." Just joking around with him and stuff. And then he would, he kind of made a crack to somebody else about Raven's extreme stories in the house.
she's the puppet master.
Her inverted spine and her degree, her GPA being dance. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, she tells Paul that her mom is in Mensa. Mm-hmm. And Paul was like, really? And she was like, yeah, I am too. And he was like, you're in Mensa. And she said, yeah. And he was like, what was your GPA in school? And she said, dance.
Look, I love when she got evicted into jury house, and the looks people gave her, like, Elena just could not contain herself. She was like, "This is the funniest." Like I was the real puppet master.
I was pulling the strings behind.
So why are you here?
Everybody's like, and here you sit.
And then they watched her thing, and they were like looking at her like, puppet master. She's like, but I knew
everything that was happening before you guys did. She was like, we were in alliance with Paul, and everybody else was like, so was I.
And Cody's like, I wasn't.
Sorry, Cody's like, not me. I didn't, actually.
I do like Cody. It's just, I wish I don't know.
I mean, I get why people like Cody in the sense of there's a lot of people out there, a lot like you and me, not, we actually, I think, are a little bit more appreciative of the whole game.
Yeah.
But I think probably some of the younger crowd that are sitting there watching it being like, F you, Paul, or F you this, like, Cody was right. Like, he was doing this. And so they're all kind of like, Cody was the only one that stood up and did this, whereas you and I, knowing you can be as gallant as you want, and steadfast about your ways on how it's supposed to be. But if you end up in jury, that's it. You end up in jury. So what? It doesn't matter in the end because you're in jury. Whereas I think some of the newbies or young people watching it are kind of like, yeah, Cody's, that's the way you're supposed to do it. Like, stand true to yourself or whatever.
Well, but I do think Cody may have ruined the season because of his initial whole thing with, let's just get Paul out, and not talking to his alliance. He was the worst alliance player. He was the worst
teammate at that point ever
in history.
Granted, to give him credit though, two things I would give him credit for. First of all, when he did battle back in, he came in and kind of said,
shouldn't have happened, but yeah.
Well, when he came back in, he kind of said, yeah, you're right. I'm not saying a word. I'm keeping my mouth shut because, he said, I totally did this wrong. I get it. However, that first week, you're going to gain a whole house of enemies if you have to put 5 people up in 1 week. Yeah. That sucked. Like, I get it. It's part of the game or whatever. But just speaking, if I was in that situation, I'd be like, what the hell do you expect me to do? Like, I've got like 7 people I can choose from based on who was able to be nominated. Mm-hmm. And I have to nominate 5 of you? Cool. Now you're all on my case. That's got to suck for anybody. Imagine if somebody else was in that role and had to have had 5 nominees.
Well, let me clarify. I don't think his bad move was trying to get Paul out.
No.
It was putting Christmas up.
Oh.
Because she was part of his alliance.
But it was kind of like picking the lesser in your alliance because he had people like Alex he could have put up. There were so many other people that...
Was Alex technically in his alliance at that point, though?
You knew from day one that he was a huge fan of Alex. Like, he made that extremely clear. That's why Jessica and Alex never got along. Yeah. He made that extremely clear. Alex, I want you to stay. I want to go to bat for you. I think you're super smart. He said it in the DR, which he hardly said anything about anybody. But Alex, he said stuff about. He was like, she's got her head on her shoulders. She knows this game. She's doing it the right way.
Yeah.
So, to end this all, in the very beginning, who from okay, let's take away like that Paul's a vet. Take that away. But from the very beginning, like, who initially were you pulling for? As you were kind of watching the season and it's coming about and you're like, I'd really like this person to win. When you still had a big pot to choose from.
I liked Christmas at first. And I still liked her. Uh-huh. I felt bad when she broke. I would have loved to have seen what type of player she would have been had she not broken her foot. Because I think she made it to Final 3 with a broken foot.
Yeah.
But I think the game itself would have been completely different had Christmas been 100% healthy and been able to compete the way we know she can compete.
Yeah.
Even with that with her being able to stand, you knew she was working on one foot.
Yeah, definitely. So, on the unicorn and
it was
stuff
her
like
choice
that too.
to stay. I get that. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, My other big beef with the whole show, and I've told you this before, ladies, please stop depending on men to pull you through to the end of the game.
Right.
If I would love to see the girls stick together, showmance or not.
They try it every time to have this female alliance, and as soon as somebody brings it up, that person goes home.
But the female alliance is always done in because at least one of them is always in a showmance, and they're playing for their showmance and their buds.
Yeah.
And it always ends up that the guys, they end up saving all those guys because they're going to protect us, whatever. And then it ends up that those guys end up taking out all the girls.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Agreed.
Have your showmance, but say, we can do this, but understand that we are two individuals playing this game.
Right.
If you choose to have a showmance. I'm not saying don't fall in love on the game. If you want to do that, cool. I think it's weird, but whatever.
Right. I mean, you're in a kind of a weird house situation, but whatever.
Like,
Cool.
I would love to see a girls' alliance pull through.
Yeah.
Because even last year, female winner, yes, but because guys helped her get there because of a showmance. Do it together. I would love to see a female in the final three.
It's one of those things where I feel like in every scenario of Big Brother, somebody can use the argument, but is that playing the game? Is that just playing the game? Is riding on somebody's coattails good gameplay?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, right? I mean, I don't know.
But
That's what I'm
would you
saying.
get my vote in the end in jury?
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So I guess, we could say that about Kevin this season. Hey.
Well, Kevin said it about Kevin.
Riding somebody's coattails all the way down there, is that good gameplay or is that poor gameplay? I don't know, because I guess it depends on what kind of player you are, Overall, I was a fan of Jason.
Oh, I like Jason too.
I was a fan of Jason.
I'm a fan of Jason.
I did like him. I think he had a nice mix of social and competition.
Yeah.
Balance, which I think you have to do. You can't be heavy on one and not have any of the other and stuff. So I think he kind of came into it once he started getting his groove and figuring out the game a little bit, because he was fairly fresh to the idea of Big Brother. I liked his personality.
Yeah.
I think he at least tried to stay positive through a lot of it. I think whenever a fight did erupt between him and Matt, he stumbled and he got frustrated because he doesn't like that confrontation, and that's why he got all like in it. And so it's
you can tell that's not him by
Jason.
the way he acted when he found out that Alex really
absolutely
wasn't,
he was torn
He was torn
up.
up. Yeah, he was like, I shouldn't have acted that
literally
way.
torn up. He was apologetic. He admitted that he was wrong. You know what I mean? And that just doesn't happen a lot. And he's a little bit older, which is where I think that if he's not old, but if we got into that whole like 30 and up crowd, I think you might see a different type of gameplay, because some people are saying, not saying that if you're over 30 you can't be backstabbing,
Right.
obviously, but I think there might be a different mentality to it just because your brain has finally fused together, boys.
Yeah, you care more about hurting people.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, that really is. And it's, I think if Paul would have stood up at the very end last night and kind of said, look, like, guys, instead of that speech that he gave, which, again, as a speech, it was a good speech because he had it all laid out. He obviously had practiced it.
Right.
But if he would have maybe shown a little more, like, sympathy or a little more softness to it.
I did lie. I'm sorry I lied. But that was... I thought I did what I thought I had to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Look, guys, yes, I admit it. I was doing this. I was, basically working with all of you. He's like, however, that was part of the game. That was what, safe. Exactly. That's what I had to do. The hardest thing for me was, I think it did truly hurt him to take Alex out. I think if he would have said something like that, like, he might have gotten that one extra vote from somebody. I just felt like he kind of robotically was like sticking to his story. And I get it. If you're going to say it, you got to stick to it. That's fine. But he was just so like, I did this, I did that, I won this, and now I'm here. Look what I did. Vote for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, Josh stumbled in his speech and started crying. But again, I know, no, not Josh.
Not Josh.
But again, it kind of played into that emotional side of it that he was kind of like, that's why I told you guys in my goodbye messages what was happening, because I didn't like voting you out.
Yes, he did.
Nah, I don't know.
He did.
I think there was a handful of people that he honestly, like Jason. I think he had a real hard time voting Jason out, but he was being puppeted by Paul and Christmas, and so I think when he was crying in Jason's away messages, I think that was genuine. And I think him saying, "Hey, look, I'm working with Paul and Christmas," was his way of almost saying, "Look, I'm sorry, but that's why I'm doing it. It's because I'm in an alliance, not because I don't like you, and because I just." Whatever, willy-nilly'd it. Mm-hmm. So I think they both had their faults about it. I know you were not happy that Paul did not win. I was not happy that either one of them were really the final two up there. Yeah. That was my opinion, at least. I kind of feel like there was just so much stuff that could have been done better in this season with the people they were working with.
Nobody took a chance this season and put up somebody who
no
they
big
were not
game
expecting.
plays. No big game
except
plays.
for Paul and Cody.
True,
Cody trying to put up Paul.
Yeah.
And then Paul putting up Cody and Jessica.
Yeah. I mean, and even for Cody, obviously it didn't work, but at least he tried. I guess if you're going to give him anything, then.
Even the week that he voted Cody and Jessica up, and he knew once he figured out Jessica's.
The hex.
At least he said, you know what? They may both stay. But her hex is gone.
Right.
She could have had 3 more free weeks.
Right.
And that's what he was telling her. Play your game, Jessica.
Yeah.
Play for yourself, Jessica.
Yeah.
And she was like, no. Again, I'm going to, even though she says I would have done it all over again, she fell on her sword for the guy.
But you still think, I would like to think at least, you hope, that if you're in that situation in the house, whether or not you like this guy or not, her emotional side of Cody or whatever is fine. But I think they're still in the house because they're seeing it from such a different angle than we are, obviously. There's always that hope of, but if we can just, if they've got to know about the hex, they got to know about the hex. But if we can just get past next week, then we might be able to bring Mark and Elena back with us. And then we've got 4 people in numbers versus the 1 we have right now. You know what I'm saying? I think they were hoping to just slowly grow back with a few people here and there. And if you get the numbers and if you can hope that people like Jess and Cody who could compete, because they were fairly good competitors, I think they were banking on that, and
I think
they were trying to play it to where they said, "Oh, I still think she should have saved it."
She would have saved it,
but I think
she would have been in the final 3.
I agree.
Because
I think she was good.
What they didn't do is talk to people and say, I've got this thing. I can keep myself safe for 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Throw a competition so that Cody can save one of us.
Yeah, because then we'll have these numbers here.
Let's work together. Let's talk about what Paul is doing. Mm-hmm. Mark and Elena would have done it.
Yeah, I agree.
Just say, let's do this. Instead, they said, again, let's play this 2-person game.
Just be us.
And just be us against the house.
Yep.
And you know what? I'm going to save us both. And then hope that next week, one of us wins the battle back. Or not the battle back, but the keep safety hex thing, whatever. It was just so much I would like to see people to do.
There's so many things that I think, I don't know that I fully agreed with almost anybody in the house at all times. Like I said, I'm a big Derek fan. I loved Derek's entire game.
Derek was exciting to watch because you were every week you're like, I can't believe he pulled it off.
I know. Is he going to tell anybody? Are they going to figure him out?
He was the most he and Dan were the most like Will and Mike Boogie.
Absolutely.
Because those 4, every week you were like, I can't believe they pulled this off.
Yeah. What are they going to do now?
Right.
This time I knew it was happening because these people were sitting in the DR saying, I'm with Paul. Right. So I'm not surprised by any of this. Every week it was going to be the Paul show. And I think that was a little annoying to me as a viewer, not if I was in the game. It's different. But Derek, huge fan because I knew that every week I was just like, holy crap. But he was genuine and sincere and had a good, nice personality. And he was like a family man and he was there
and never told one person about his real job.
Yeah.
Usually somebody breaks down and says, I'm going to confide in you.
And says, hey, let me tell you something. Don't say anything.
He never told one person. They all found out at the finale. And they were like, oh my God,
that was one of my favorite
awesome.
Parts, too. One of my favorite parts ever.
What did he tell people? He was like some security guard or something?
Yeah. I mean, it was something like
he works
pretty
security.
generic. Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't lie about being an officer.
Nope. Truly was.
I do work security. I just
for
secured
the world. Yes. I love it. I thought it was great, that season and stuff. And so this season, not so much. Hate to say it, I just wasn't a big fan of it overall. And I will be looking forward to some celebrity Big
Okay,
Brother.
rant over. I feel better now. I can...
Hi, I'm Alan,
I'm Chris.
and we're the co-hosts of Foot Candle Films, a movie review and film discussion show here on themesh.tv.
Each episode, we talk about some new movies, cover some film news, and have some recommendations.
And trust us, we're just as likely to talk about the latest Jim Jarmusch film as we are the newest Transformers installment.
Hold on, don't get too crazy.
Well, okay, maybe not that bad. But you can find our show and all our episodes on themesh.tv. Plus, you can subscribe to get new episodes delivered right to your computer or mobile device.
We'll see you in the ticket line.
Now we can like get away from the whole that series, and now we have a couple more topics to go over. So for all of you out there listening who know nothing about Big Brother, sorry for our segment there, but we had to get that out.
It had to be done.
That was a lot. Holy crap. Woo! Okay, couple headlines, because then we have a little segment at the end we're going to kind of share with everybody, but couple of things I just want to get your thoughts on. We'll keep them short and sweet. So you hear J-Lo's got a boyfriend.
I hear. Yes.
You hear, you see, I'm sure.
Seen.
Because
Gorgeous
they're
couple.
beautiful. It's fantastic.
Who's more beautiful than them?
I'm pretty
Together.
sure that they are the perfect pair.
Probably.
Okay, so
Probably,
we're
yes.
discussing that this is Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo, Alex Rodriguez, A-Rod. How is it not any more perfect?
It was in the cards. It's always been there.
I kind of dig them.
I like it.
You know, they dress up when they go out. A-Rod puts on a
always
suit
so
and a
tanned.
jacket. I love it. They have this beautiful skin tone. It's
They're like
fantastic.
Ken and Barbie.
Absolutely. Of the, celebrity world, I guess. I mean, do you think J-Lo would be willing to have more children?
Maybe.
I don't know how old she is, but
She's like 45.
You think so?
46. She's older.
really?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
She'll be almost 50, girl. I don't know.
what?
I don't know.
Really?
I'm making stuff up. She's 40.
I mean, I don't
She's
know.
between
Just
40 and
totally
50.
just talking about making up people's ages. Anyway, if you go do a search and you type in J-Lo, A-Rod images, and then click on images on Google, they're phenomenal.
Their babies would be beautiful.
That's why that's what I was getting at. I'm kind of hoping that there's a chance that they will have the world's most beautifully athletic and toned child ever. If there's ever going to be a child with muscles and six-pack baby, it's going to be
It's that
this one.
Yeah. It'd be born with a six-pack.
Yes.
And beautiful hair.
Yes. And what
Perfectly
I really like,
tanned.
what I really like is that I've seen pictures of them taking selfies, and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like you are taking selfies of each other. Then A-Rod has been interviewed recently and has had nothing but just gushing praise for her. Whereas a lot of times you don't see them talk about it. Oh yeah,
they want the world to know.
She's a nice lady, and we enjoy spending time together. No, he is like, she's amazing, and he's like, she's on another level. He's like, I'm out of my league. Like, he's saying this stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, just be still.
Yes.
Be still, my heart. Love it.
They're
Okay,
cuties.
so I'm all for them. I'm gonna chalk one up on the Chick Chat vote for yes.
Yes.
Okay, great. Speaking of vote for yes, how do we feel about Kim and Kanye finding a baby mama to carry their baby?
Sure.
I don't care about surrogacy. Obviously,
No,
that's
great.
amazing. I'm glad that there's people out there that are able to do that and happy to help others that are unable to carry because of health problems and whatnot. And I do think it's smart if you are in danger at any point that you explore things like that.
Didn't she have difficulty with the second pregnancy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She had issues. Kim had some scares, with the pregnancy. So by all means, I'm super glad about it. I'm just not quite sure we need a third one. That's all there is to it.
Well, I think it's all of them have a lot of kids that have
Yeah.
the ones that have kids. Like she comes from 4, and then they were like the Brady Bunch where there's 10 of them now.
Yeah,
And
4, and then it was
then her
it was
mom
the
had 2 more.
Kardashians, and then the Jenners, which was
Like their
Brandon
half
Brody,
sisters.
Brandon and Brody.
Yeah.
And stuff.
Okay. So the
So those
step
came in.
siblings.
Those were step siblings when the
Okay.
Jenners were married. And then Kardashian and Jenner had 2 kids together.
So half Kardashians.
Correct.
Okay.
Cardiners.
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 Right.
So
And I get
yeah.
it. I love the idea of a big family. And her sister has, 3 now? Courtney?
Yeah, I believe
3?
so. I believe
Penelope,
so. Yeah.
Rain, or I don't know if Rain's a real word. I might be making that up. But that might be
I
the
can't
kid's
remember their
name.
names, but yes, you're
yeah.
you're right. I think there's 3 of them.
Well, I get, okay, I will say, full disclosure, I have watched Keeping Up with the Kardashians some.
Okay.
I think her big thing is she and her siblings all having kids around the same age, growing
Sure.
up together,
Sure.
cousins the same age, so that they're not like, yeah, we've got this 20-year-old cousin, and then we've got this 7-year-old cousin,
Yeah.
and yeah, we hang out at family functions, but they don't do anything together. She's all about them being
Yeah.
like close and really good
And
friends.
I get that, and that's cool, and I think it's great. Like I said, it's
I
just
think
another Kim and Kanye
well,
baby that I'm like,
I think she's
"Ugh."
always had in her mind 3.
Okay.
If not more.
Sure.
And so maybe she was hoping with the second one to be able to have the third, but then when
Yeah.
the doctor was like, it might not be the best thing.
Yeah,
She said,
yeah.
you know what? While we're still young, under 40, at least
Understood.
she is.
Yeah.
I don't know how old he is.
I don't
but,
either.
Let's just do this. And because I want my kids to grow up and be the same age, because that's how she grew up. I get it.
So here's the source as to why they're having this child.
Oh.
Right. So it says that as baby Saint, gets bigger, Kim has been talking more and more about the third baby because she believes that her kids have grown up too fast and she really misses having a baby in the family.
Well, what better reason to have a baby?
There's your reasoning, my
Right.
friends.
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
And I get it. I mean, obviously, you get baby fever, you do that. And I get it. And she is, hey, she can provide for these children, and
True.
that's great. So it's not like we're bringing in, babies that don't have food and can't, somebody that shouldn't be able to house a child. Right. This child will have multiple rooms, and that's great. But
Right.
I'm just, like I said, it's just the whole Kim Kanye thing just is weird to me, and Kanye is just so unpredictable sometimes. I'm a little past it, but hey, congratulations.
Yay.
Now, somebody that should have a third baby. I know who should have a third baby.
Who is that?
The royal family.
Oh, have 10
I
more
want
babies.
a gazillion royal babies.
Except I feel bad for her because she's got the worst morning sickness.
Yeah.
It's just like some
Yeah.
condition.
Yeah. She it's an actual term, whatever it is. It has it's called
a long word.
extreme
Yeah.
morning sickness. And it's not just morning, it's all day sickness. And it's horrible that she's had to be hospitalized for it and stuff. However, it sounds like now knowing going forward that this is the case, there are at least ways to monitor, and she knows that she just has to be at home. She's canceled her,
Public
engagements
appearances.
and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. That at least she's taking care of herself and
Right.
obviously has
And their
good care
kids
for
are
it.
gorgeous. So.
Oh my gosh. The most recent pictures of the babies. I mean, I can say the babies, but they're phenomenal.
George going to preschool might have been.
I was about to say, George going to preschool in that little outfit and daddy taking him.
Oh my gosh. Drool.
Melting my heart.
Yes.
I absolutely loved it. Just, oi. Okay. So,
And did you notice? I don't know. Maybe I missed it, but I did not see the preschool teacher curtsy, and I loved that because I feel like it was told beforehand.
Right.
My kid is just another kid coming
Treat
to
him
school.
like a kid
Treat him like
here.
a kid. Do not curtsy to
Yes.
me or him when we drop him off.
I would hope so.
I mean, maybe I missed the curtsy, but I didn't see one.
I did not pay attention nor catch it, but I would hope that was the case. I like that.
I loved it.
I like that a lot.
And
cannot wait.
I'm even more hopeful that this means that Harry and Meghan, because she's getting up there in age. He's getting up there in age. And I know he likes the babies. He's all excited about baby number 3.
Hey.
I think he makes a baby number. He wants a baby number 1, maybe.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Whatever. We'll
Stop
see.
it.
I mean, if something, I don't know.
Stop it.
I kind of, want him to just big brother it and come out and say stuff, and kind of just fill us in instead of everybody.
Well, she had an interview in a magazine where she talked about them.
Like how? Like
we're in love. We are.
What?
Yes.
No. No, they're not.
She said
they are not
we
in
are
love.
two people.
She's in love because he's a prince. She's in love with him.
She said, "I love the idea of our story, and I love a fairy tale and a good love story."
Because you're dating a prince.
Well, yes. Okay, yes, but. I mean,
I want to hear Harry's side of it. Harry,
the palace and he came out and said they stand behind her interview 100%.
Yeah. Don't you think Harry's in there being like, meh? Yeah, I mean,
no,
it's cool. She's a cool girl. We like hanging out.
I mean, she's hot and stuff.
Yeah, right. She's a cool girl. And we have a really chill time together.
I mean, at this point, she has to get everything approved. So the fact that she was able to say that,
no, I understand,
has people speculating that are they already engaged? Because there's this whole little protocol. Like Will and Kate were engaged before we knew they were engaged.
Oh yeah, they were engaged on Safari.
Well, and Meghan and Harry went on a 3-week African vacation.
Yeah, okay. And if he proposed out there, I'd be ticked off.
Well,
because I'm like, hey, listen here, copycat, get a little more original.
Well, he gave the ring to Will to give to Kate. That was his ring. Diana's ring was his.
Was Harry's, yes.
So if he wants to propose in Africa, go for it.
You think he's going to ask for something back, like in return?
Hey, can I get a stone out of that?
Is there any way we could work out a timeshare on it, kind of?
Right.
Kate wears it sometimes. She's pregnant right now. She don't really need it, right? She's got to stay inside.
I'm looking for is it around Christmas, maybe? An announcement? Because I think it'll be before the baby's here. But right now, we're all excited about the royal baby. We're not going to cross over stories. Let's all be excited.
Well, especially because we also just went through the anniversary of their mom's death.
Right.
So, I think nobody wanted to stomp on any of that. If there is an announcement to be made, they were not going to do it around that time because I don't think Will and Harry would have allowed that. Because there was what was this, the 20th year? This was the 20th year, right? So it was a big deal, and they did a lot of interviews, actually, which they don't do a lot of interviews about their mom. But I think they did interviews this time because it was the 20th, and kind of they told those stories about the last time they spoke with her. Some of that stuff, so there was no way that was happening then. And then came the baby news, which, by the way, in the article that I read about it, and it's been a couple articles, that everybody's speculating because they assumed, again, that the royal family has kept this news for the 12-week period that normally, get you through the first trimester. It's kind of the safe zone, if you will. They assumed that they told right after the 12-week period, which would put the baby coming in April. Okay. So, however, the other day, Prince William went to what is called a Spitalfields Crypt Trust. It's a charity that supports those dealing with homelessness and addiction in East London. And he dropped a major hint that his wife might be further along in the pregnancy than we were originally led to believe. Basically, somebody congratulated him, on your upcoming birth of this baby or whatever. And it was, I don't know if they said it was another soon-to-be dad or something like that, but they were talking about a midwife. And William said, all the best with your midwifery. I think that's how you say it, midwifery. I may see you sooner than you think. So that's the way he put it to this midwife situation they were talking about. Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot of playing into that. But we know that, I think based on her previous illnesses and stuff associated with the pregnancy, that it was probably at least the 12 weeks that they told us, if not longer.
Or unless they waited until she was about to show, or she started to show a little bit. So she'd be 4 or 5 months.
She could be 20 weeks now. Yeah. And we wouldn't know it, because she's kind of in hiding now.
Yeah. And she's really scared.
Yeah, we would never. Yeah, exactly. So I think, April's going to be the latest that it would be.
Well, see, and that's where I think, if
there was a Christmas announcement,
get the Christmas
there's plenty of time.
Thanksgiving, Christmas announcement, have time to have the baby, and then the wedding after that, soon after that.
So you could have Christmas announcement, space to breathe.
Yes.
Die down. Baby born, die down, wedding.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
And then another pregnancy announcement.
Hey,
Well, 'cause
I don't want to talk about that. Listen,
No, we're
wedding
talking
is-
about it.
Wedding is one thing. I am not talking about Harry
You will
having
talk
a baby.
about it.
No,
It's going to happen. Listen, so Meghan is the Invictus Games, which is Harry's big thing.
Yes,
happens in
yes.
Toronto this year.
Yes.
So they say that they are making their first public appearance together
in the States or
in Toronto.
In Toronto, okay.
At the Invictus Games. where
Sorry,
she will
Canada,
join
not the
him.
States. I didn't mean that.
She will join him at the games. Now, she won't have any official duties, and she won't be like part of the ceremonies and stuff. But in the stands,
She's going to be cheering.
They will make their first public appeirance.
Just like Chelsea Davy did all these years.
Do not compare Meghan Markle to Chelsea Davy.
I mean,
It is so not the
Homegirl
same.
went through all that process too. Like, let's just say Meghan Markle's not the first one to deal with this.
Listen, he was young. He's 35 now. She's like 38.
They should go on Big Brother.
Celebrity Big Brother.
Yes.
Royal Big Brother.
gonna be
Let's get all the
royal?
royals in together. The Dutch royals, the Spanish royals.
I think that would kind of be really boring, though. Don't you think they'd all just be sitting
And all
around
of their
staring at each
servants
other?
like, who's making dinner? We don't know how to boil water. What's
Nobody's
happening?
going to eat. Like, nobody can eat.
Except
Nobody-
Kate and Meghan. They'll be like, oh my gosh, you guys seriously?
Oh, my God. I wish we would have been a royal when we married in.
Right. Like,
Oh, perfect.
I at least know how to put something in the microwave.
You see Harry over there trying to figure out the microwave.
How do you get
Beep. Beep. What is going
It's
on?
making noise, but nothing's happening.
I don't understand. Oh, man. Well,
Yay, royals.
yay, royals. That's one baby number 3 I can get behind. Excellent.
Ooh, now we got to think of names. Diana. Come on, Diana.
Oh, it could totally have a Diana in there, right? But
Charlotte
Charlotte
has Diana
has
in her name.
Diana
you know they have
later.
like 8 names, so
I know, right?
I want.
Which he could easily still use Diana in like a middle name
Yeah.
fashion again, because they all have like Charles in there somewhere or something, right?
Yeah,
You know, I mean, they all
Charles
have like
William something.
exactly like
Maybe that was the. I'll give you the ring, but I get Diana as a
the
kid's
baby name.
Baby name.
Ooh. Look at us!
Baby Diana.
Look at us like playing like
We are.
actual
Harry and Meghan
figuring out
you can
their
have
stuff.
Diana.
Yeah. Woo. Okay. Well, we'll keep posted on that. We have
Oh, you know I'm
marked
going to
down.
let you know as soon as the engagement announcement
I know,
happens.
we
I
have
it
marked
on,
down-
as a notification on my phone. Please
You're
notify me
getting
as soon as
all
the announcement happens.
correspondence that comes up
Like,
about
I'm trying to
Meghan.
friend Meghan Markle. She just won't answer me back. Like, can we
Damn
just
it.
be besties? What's going on? I don't understand.
I will give you props if any of this actually happens. So
I need you to be more on board with this.
I'm thinking he could very well be like that. What was Grace Kelly's son's name? You know, he's the
Yeah, the King of Monaco. Now.
yeah. You know, I mean,
Yeah, I know who you're talking
he was
about.
like the Bachelor forever.
Stop.
Forever.
No.
And then he finally married this lady and was like,
You'll
Yeah.
do.
I mean, right,
I'm like 50 now. I guess
they
I had to
said I had to. Albert, that's it. Yeah, I kind of think Harry might end up like that.
Why do you not want me to live my
I'm
dreams
just
through
not. I'm just not a big fan of Meghan.
Why?
So
You don't
I don't
even know
know.
her.
I think she. I think Harry deserves better than just an actress.
them? Really?
Yep.
But we wanted him with Emma Watson.
No, I thought that would be a really good hookup. I'm not sure about marriage.
Who would you have him marry? A royal? No. He's better than that.
No, I want someone who doesn't really have a name, like Kate was. I mean,
Kate came from a pretty prominent family, though.
yes, absolutely, but they weren't famous. You know, like celebrities, and they weren't.
They were
royals.
socialites.
That's fine. That's fine.
Harry doesn't run in those circles.
I don't want somebody that
Who's
makes
he
a
gonna
living
meet?
on TV.
Who's he going to meet? Someone at the
How is
grocery
that-
store?
How is that going to be? How is that going to be like, hey, honey, like it is a bad Hallmark movie. You know, the actress marries the prince. Now she's got to come
That is
over
a
here.
great Hallmark movie.
No, I don't know.
Where you're just shopping at the local
it's a-
Food Lion one day, and
it's
you
a
bump into a
predictable.
prince, and you're like, hey, and you're all rude to him, and then you find out he's a prince, and you're like, you're kind of scum, and then you fall in love and you get married. Perfect story.
No.
You don't know their love story. She said
I
it's
don't.
beautiful.
I know. I'm sure it is.
And I trust Megan. Megan said it's beautiful.
So you know it's true.
So you know.
I read it on the internet.
If it's on the internet, it is true.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So
Just
we'll
friend me and
keep
we'll
an eye
chat,
on it.
Megan. Let me set this girl straight. Give me the deets.
We'll keep an eye on that. We'll keep an eye on that. Do you tell everybody a little bit about your background here? You are not from North Carolina.
I'm not. I'm from Ohio.
Ohio.
Okay. Land of presidents.
Is that really what it's called?
I mean, we've got like 7 or 8 that are from Ohio.
We have a bunch as well here in North Carolina, which I wanted to kind of touch on for just a minute.
Yeah.
I think that people maybe don't quite understand, out there on internet land, we're in this great little small town here called Hickory, North Carolina.
Yes.
How long you been here?
About 19 years now or so.
Okay, so you're totally legit.
Yeah, I'm legit.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I mean, God, we've known each other a really long time now.
Yes.
Really
See?
long time now.
Just
I like
seems
that.
Yesterday, doesn't it?
It does. I'm born and bred. Born and bred. Hickory, North Carolina. Moved away for a little while. Had to, find yourself.
Grow your wings.
Yep. Got
Get
sucked
some root
back in.
somewhere else.
Got sucked back in. It's like a vortex, this Hickory. Hickory is.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to give a couple little shout outs to all the people living around this world that are listening to Chick Chat. All over the world.
All over
like
the
this
world.
is
Like Megan in Canada.
we did it. All right.
Harry in England.
I want to know if any of our Canadian fans are fans of Megan.
That say yes. Set this girl
or
straight.
tell the truth.
Set
Whatever.
Set this girl straight. on our future non-queen but in line succession to be queen.
Right. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it
Y'all
out.
just sit back
Harry's
and wait.
going to be like 20th in line soon if they keep having kids.
Well, exactly. He's just getting knocked off one by one. Like, he's kind of like,
that's why he loves them. Have more babies.
yeah, he's like, really, guys,
More.
I'm cool with
Sky's
this.
the limit for you.
Keep them coming.
Keep them coming. That way I can do more of what
Well,
I
we can
want
do this
to do.
Anastasia up in this house.
Think about it. Who remembers like Andrew? And I always forget they have Edward as a brother.
Oh, yeah.
I always forget about Edward. Then
They're
his
done.
wife pops up every now and then at some event. You're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, you're like, wow.
There
You
is an
guys are
Edward.
really, really in line.
Yeah, they're like
in line.
don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like those sisters that wear the weird hats.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
That show up at all the weddings.
Eugenie and Beatrice or something.
Beatrix.
Beatrice. I don't know what her name is.
It's got an X in it.
It's like Ramona Beezus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they show up at
They
the
show up at
weddings.
the weddings. We're like, oh yeah.
And you're
Andrew,
like, oh,
Andrew's there, and
they're
he has
16th
kids.
in line or whatever.
People
Yeah.
remember Fergie more than they remember Andrew.
True story. And she's been out there a long time. She's shunned out.
She's shunned. She's like in Texas
Went
still,
and did
right?
Weight Watchers. Remember that?
She did a commercial for it. Even.
Yes, she did. I mean,
Diana's kid.
Queen's sitting back there being like, see,
No.
I told y'all,
Told
get that
y'all.
girl out. I
Know what you
told
were
y'all,
thinking.
Fergie, we do not trust Fergie. That is it. Woo. All right. So, on to North Carolina.
Yes.
So, I'm not going to give them this little history lesson or anything like that. I just want people to know what a great little place we live in. I think you've kind of established it as your home.
Sure, yeah.
Enjoyed it. You married somebody. Where is Tavel from?
Michigan.
Michigan, okay. Who chose to be here in North Carolina and has
Yes.
stayed here this long. He's been here just as long, right?
Yes.
You've chosen to have a family here.
Yes.
And
My kid is a natural citizen, natural born citizen of North Carolina. See,
she can stay.
she can stay.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, the different states I've lived in, each time I think the ultimate goal was to move back to North Carolina, not knowing when, but we did eventually, obviously. And so I just wanted to point out a few of the people that you might not realize hail from North Carolina. Okay.
Hit me with it.
And I'm some of them I think you might be surprised by. Cecil D. DeMille.
Okay, we went way back on this.
When
but okay.
Cecil
Yes.
Cecil DeMille, when she says, "I'm ready for my close up, Mr.
Yes.
DeMille." That one, okay.
You're going way back.
I mean, well, it was the name.
What part of North Carolina?
He's from Washington.
Okay,
There's
on the East Coast.
on the East Coast. Yep, called Washington. These are all over the place. These are not in like order of any sort. Okay. But I think some people might relate to them out there because who cannot relate to Zach Galifianakis?
Yes.
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 I love him.
Love him. Yeah, he's funny.
I think he's hilarious.
Between Two Ferns is probably the best
It's
show
one of
out
the
there.
best shows out there behind Chick Chat. I love it.
Yes.
And he's from Wilkesboro, which is
What?
just around the corner.
He's from Wilkesboro.
Yes. Yes, girl. I went to a civic function one weekend that was being held in like a church fellowship hall.
Mm-hmm.
And we're setting up tables in this fellowship hall, and they have pictures of members up on the wall. And there's old like George Galifianakis or whatever. It was his dad's picture because it was his family's church. Yeah, in North Wilkesboro.
Craziness.
So yeah, he is from Wilkesboro, born and bred. Like,
Wow.
family's still there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Ava Gardner. Yeah, big, very famous movie star, considered one of the best of her era. Beautiful. Of course, she's from Gardner.
I think I only knew that.
Smithfield.
Yeah, I think I only remember that because I went to Smithville for something before, and I
They
saw
have a sign, don't they? They have a sign. Yeah.
Ava Gardner.
North Carolina loves their signs being like home of.
Yeah, I was like, look at that.
Yes, yes. Oh, this one's good. Vince McMahon.
No.
Over
the wrestling guy?
The chairman of the World Wrestling Entertainment, WWE. He's from Pinehurst.
What?
Yeah, if you don't know, Pinehurst is a big golf community. Pinehurst, Southern Pines, that area. I believe the catchphrase is something about the only people that live here are newlyweds and nearly dead. Just that's not the real saying. That
I've never heard that, but okay.
Well, I just said it. That
Okay.
was yeah. Okay.
There you go, Pinehurst. There's
I know,
your
right?
new town motto.
Sorry. Here's a good one. Julianne Moore.
Really?
Yes. Love her,
Love her
actress and
too.
stuff. Yeah, she is from Fort Bragg. So
Okay. Maybe
it's
Army?
military
Okay.
background. Yep. So we have Fort Bragg here on the coast, ish. And they, I think there's actually several people on the list that I saw over that were from that area.
Okay.
Military probably didn't stay here very long, but it doesn't matter.
It counts.
You were, like you said, a natural born citizen here.
That's right.
Soupy Sales. You know who Soupy Sales is?
Yeah, he's an older guy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he died back in 2009, but he was famous for the pie in the face. He's a
Yes.
comedian at the end. Yeah, he's from Franklinton. So little
Never
tiny
heard of
town.
Franklinton,
Yeah,
okay.
well. Jamie Presley,
Yes.
actress, who, has been in a lot of stuff, I think, but she's from Kinston. So she's...
I didn't know that.
They've probably got a sign there, too.
probably got a sign in Kinston.
Home of Jamie Presley.
My name is first name is Earl or something. My name is Earl.
Yeah, my name is Earl.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep. Andy Griffith.
Of course.
Okay. I mean, that's his real name. A lot of
Yes.
people were watching the Andy Griffith show. Like, that's obviously his real name. Mayberry is a town.
Well,
Here.
Is it? Or
Yes.
is it Mount Airy?
No. It is. There is a Mayberry, but he is not from there.
Okay.
He is from Mount Airy.
Mount Airy.
Yes.
Okay.
So
there is a Mayberry. Okay.
And so he's, actor, singer, director, everything. I mean, obviously did
stayed here,
fairly
right?
well for himself. Oh yeah. This was home for him.
home.
Yeah. Ken Jeong.
I did know that.
Yes.
I didn't know. Did I know that? I knew that he went to Duke. I don't know that I knew he was from North Carolina.
He's from Greensboro. So
Look at that.
Yeah. I mean, kind of big city, North
Yeah.
Carolina. Some of these are from the little towns that you just don't hear as much from, but he's from big ones. So
He has a medical degree from Duke, doesn't
yeah,
he? He's
so
like a doctor
bizarre.
for real.
I know. So weird
Yeah.
and awkwardly funny. Like it's
Yeah.
just, I love him. Star Jones. Remember
I
Star
didn't know that.
Jones?
I do remember Star
She used to
Jones.
be on The
From The
View.
View?
She's a lawyer, right? Get up in your
Yeah.
face. That one. Yeah, she's from Baden.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Heard of Baden.
Here's one of my favorites. Skeet Ulrich. You know him?
Really?
Yeah. I love
He's a little
Skeet
cutie.
Ulrich. Oh, he's so cute. And back in the 90s, when he was on his heyday on the Scream movies, remember he played Cotton?
Yes.
Cotton Weary.
Son or something.
Cotton Weary, I think it
He
was.
was the
right?
boyfriend in the first one.
Yeah, they thought was the bad guy, though.
Yeah.
They thought he was the one that was going to be like, he was the bad one. But he's beautiful. I didn't care.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Didn't care. He actually comes from a very famous NASCAR family. So, yeah, the Ricky Rudds Ricky Rudd family. Yeah. So anyway, that's his family there. And Skeet raced for a while. So he's actually been on the NASCAR circuit, which is North Carolina is pretty much like the home of NASCAR.
Yeah.
In case people don't realize, it's taken very seriously here. So,
where's he from?
he is from Concord.
Okay, I was going to ask if he's like
That's
from the
right
Burnsville
in the
area.
heart of all the racing stuff. Skeet Ulrich from Concord. Bellamy Young, the first lady.
The lady on Scandal?
Yeah, the first lady.
The first lady.
Yes. Melly.
Melly.
Yeah, Melly is from Asheville.
Okay.
Yeah. So I love her too. I think she's really spunky and stuff.
Yeah.
But maybe when she's talking about her daddy's hooch on the show, maybe it's like real life stories.
It might be.
Right?
They took from real life.
Absolutely. I'm going to, Shyler Lee? Is that how you say it?
Kyler Lee?
Shyler?
Yeah, I
The
know you're
girl
talking about
from Grey's Anatomy
Yes.
that played Lexi.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Rest in peace. She is from Charlotte.
Oh.
Yep. So that's there's some of the actors or whatever. I'm just going to breeze through some of these musicians.
What about Andie MacDowell? Is she from North Carolina or does she
Asheville.
just live here?
I think she lives here now. I'm not sure if she's actually from here.
Okay.
Yes, but she does live here currently.
Yes.
Some other people, that I know, Pauletta Pearson, who is married to Denzel Washington.
Yes.
She is from here, and she actually went to Lenore Ryan, which is the university here
she's
in
from this
town
area, right?
that I went to. Yes, she is from Newton.
Yes.
Family's still here.
Which means Denzel comes.
Yes. So like if you said Newton, North Carolina to Denzel Washington, he knows who it is, where it is.
Yes.
I love that. Love it. Do you know who Matthew Settle is?
I do not.
Okay. He played Rufus on Gossip Girl, the dad.
Okay.
Okay.
I watched like half a season of
He's
that.
beautiful. Okay. He's a bit older. He's beautiful. And guess where he's from?
Where?
Hickory.
No, he's not.
Where the mesh is located, where Chick Chat's being broadcast from.
So who knows him personally?
I don't know.
Okay.
And I'm upset about it, but
Somebody does.
right. Somebody. Yeah. Do you know who Burgess Jenkins is?
Nope.
Okay. So remember the Titans? The
Yes.
movie? He was the mean white boy. Okay. That basically stayed mean the entire time.
Okay.
Whereas the two then bond of friendship. He became the mean guy. Okay. So that was kind of his first role. Then he later was on One Tree Hill, which is filmed in North Carolina, P.S.
it is.
And he played the coach of the Bobcats, which Nathan goes and plays professional basketball for. So he was a coach on there. He's been in lots of like these little Hallmark movies and different, movies like this. However, I went to college with him
So you know him.
at Lenore Ryan University. Was Lenore Ryan College back then, but
Look at
shout out
that.
Burgess. Yep. So there's some more fun ones. Here's some good ones in case you are curious about music, because we've got some amazing musicians that have come out here. So many that I couldn't even name all of these. But let me just breeze through some. Of course, James Taylor hails from.
So he's actually from North
He
Carolina.
is from here. He is from Chapel Hill area.
Oh.
In my mind, he's going to Carolina all the time.
Always.
Can't help that.
Now I'm
One
going to
of
listen to James Taylor after this.
well, I don't know. You might find some of these other ones that you want to listen to, because one of my favorite stories of all time is a video that you and I watched. Because from Charlotte, North Carolina, it's Casey and JoJo.
Oh. Yes.
All my life, I pray for someone like
Yeah, that one I did know.
They, you have to go and Google Casey and JoJo pass out during performance to where I think it's JoJo probably.
I think JoJo passes out.
And
Casey
he
keeps
literally faints during a performance, and Casey's up there being like, all my life, I pray for someone like you. And the whole audience is like,
And Casey knows it's happening. He's just like, hey.
He's like, cool, somebody come get him. They come and get him, wake him up, and then he comes back on stage and sings.
It
Yes.
might be the best moment
Yes.
ever.
Eric Church.
Yes.
Eric Church is from right here, right in Granite Falls, which is a little outside of Hickory. Obviously, really made his way over the last 10 years or so in country music. Good stuff. One of my favorites is Ben Folds.
Okay.
I love Ben Folds. Ben Folds 5, for people that didn't know it back in the day, they sang Brick and stuff like that. So it was, he is from Winston-Salem in Chapel Hill area. Roberta Flack. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Soul up in here. Got some soul in North Carolina. She's from Asheville.
All right.
Yeah. Speaking of what's popular in Asheville, probably more than anywhere, but they are from Concord, are the Avett brothers. Scott and Seth are both from Concord. Got their start here playing in really small places, bars and restaurants and things like that. And worked their way up, had help with their daddy, who was a musician as well. But yeah, the Avett brothers, large and in charge from Concord, North Carolina. Ryan Adams, who,
Which one?
He sang New York, New York.
Okay, so the Mandy Moore husband, Ryan.
Correct.
Adams, not the son,
Ex-husband.
not the other one. Ex-husband.
Yes.
The other one's from Canada, I think.
Who? Ryan Reynolds?
No, there's another Ryan, or is it Brian Adams?
Brian Adams. Summer of 69.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's from Canada.
Okay.
Yes. He's not on my list. Ryan Adams is from here.
Okay.
And used to be married to Mandy Moore, who is now newly engaged to somebody else, by the way.
Yeah. So where's he from?
He's from Jacksonville.
Okay.
So, yeah. Tori Amos.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Who can be heard still every day on the dog commercial.
That's right. That is right.
The ASPCA commercial.
And she comes from Newton, North Carolina.
No, she doesn't.
Mary Margaret Baker's hometown. Yes.
Really?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Grandmother lived there. Mm-hmm. She lived with her grandmother.
Sound like you know somebody.
I'm just saying. It's a good one.
I just know Grandma.
Yeah. Chris Daughtry. Remember him?
Oh, I remember that because that was all the big thing on
American Idol. Yeah. So I have a quick Chris Daughtry story. When I lived in Charleston, I worked in tourism, and my office was connected to a music venue that was on the backside, and it was called the Music Farm. Great little venue. And then on the other side of that, we had a bus depot that all the tourism buses, like touring buses, rounded up in, right? So this was not just busing for like getting back and forth around town. These were tour buses. Okay. And they called it the bus shed. So this music venue is kind of in between our offices. And there was a big, huge, like RV bus type thing parked in front of the entrance to our bus depot, and all these tour buses were not able to get out. And so I start getting calls on my cell phone saying, you got to get this bus moved. You got to get this bus moved, make something happen. Granted, I am 8 3/4 months pregnant at this time, right? I'm gigantic. It is sweltering hot in Charleston, South Carolina. I'm mad. I don't want to get up out of my desk. My feet are swollen, but I have to go over there, and I know I'm going to have to basically issue someone a violation, which I was able to do in that capacity, right? So I walk over there, and there's nobody at the bus, like no driver or anything. I go inside, and I can't find anybody, and there's all these people unloading stuff, like going back and forth. Nobody would really stop and talk to me. Nobody took me seriously, I guess. Pregnant woman coming in, just kind of standing there with her hands on her hips. Until I kind of raised my voice for a minute. I was like, I absolutely need somebody to listen to me. We have got to move this bus out here. I'm about to write a ticket. It's got to happen now. And somebody was like, well, that's fine. Write us a ticket. And I turn around, and it's Chris Daughtry.
What?
Face to face. And I'm like, no, I don't have to write you a ticket. It's no big deal. I can just go.
Margaret.
However, I did end up writing them a ticket. Had to, because they wouldn't move.
He sounded rude.
It was a little bit rude. Just going to throw that out there. Little bit rude.
Don't be rude.
Yeah. So thanks a lot, Chris Daughtry. Yeah, I mean, he's from Roanoke Rapids. I mean.
Oh, is that where he's from?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I go to Roanoke Rapids all the time.
I know. Maybe there's a sign somewhere.
I'll have to look.
You'll have to look. So for anybody that comes through North Carolina, we would love to have you visit.
Well, wait a minute. You left off one of the most important.
There's a lot. There's a lot more.
But how could you forget Petey Pablo?
Well,
he wrote the North Carolina anthem.
This is true. This is true. Kelly Clarkson's family's, she's got family here too.
She does.
But yeah, there's so many. Like, I couldn't even dream of it.
You can't say North Carolina without saying Petey Pablo.
Well, I obviously
Carolina.
could.
You could. But every time you say North Carolina, I don't think it's North Carolina.
I mean, he's the Nelly of North Carolina, you know?
It's at all the Panthers games.
Right.
You can't go to a sporting event in North Carolina without that song coming on.
True. This is true. We are very proud of our state. We're very proud of this area. We're glad that the Mesh is doing these podcasts that are promoting this area. It's something that we think we have a lot to offer. We've got mountains, we've got beach, and you can get between the two of them within one day.
Yes.
It's pretty incredible.
It's awesome.
Yeah, not a lot of people and places can say that. So we would love for you to come visit anytime. We would gladly have you here to the studio to come check things out and come sit in if you'd like. But yeah, I'm always going to Carolina in my mind.
Always.
Absolutely. All right. So that was a big one. That was a lot of stuff. We covered a whole bunch and a lot of Big Brother. But you know what? It was the finale, and we're not going to get to talk about it for a while. So until, of course, Celebrity Big Brother comes on, and we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about who's on there and why.
Totally going to talk
You
about
know, it's
that.
got to be somebody who's got nothing going on for like 90 days, unless they shorten the season.
They are absolutely going to get bigger stipends, I think, than regular guests, right? Yeah. Have to. So until then, everybody stay tuned to find out what we have to say about that, as well as all the other favorite shows. I've got some new stuff I've been watching in kind of the downtime that has been happening lately. So I can't wait to talk about that next month. I've got a few new shows that I've invested a little time in, and we'll have to get going on that. But until then, we got to keep people coming back for more, right? So I got to save some. Everybody cross your fingers for Jeanette to receive some good news about a engagement. And let's all send up some happy thoughts for the princess and her baby cooking. And, let's all cross our fingers for really good house guests on Big Brother Celebrity. Yeah. All right. So be sure, again, to go check out the rest of our stuff. All of our old episodes are up. If you have any questions about anything else, we've got some. Maybe we can get a guest on here soon. One of our girlfriends upstairs or something, and come down and chat.
That'd be good.
Yeah, I think we could do that. So we'll switch that up a little bit. But go back and check out some old episodes and check out everything else that the Mesh has to offer. If you have any questions, comments, feedback, we would gladly take it. We have a voicemail line at 828-619-0048. You can email us at info@themesh.tv, or you can find us on Instagram at a new Instagram handle. It's called themesh.tv. Come and find us there. You'll see all kinds of inside scoop from the studio and things that we're doing. And yeah, we're all over Facebook and Twitter and everything else too. So you really can't hide from us. We're all over the place. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, though, Jeanette, say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.